The year is 2038, and the world has changed. Fossil fuels are a distant memory, and renewable energy is everywhere. Solar panels blanket rooftops, and wind turbines dot landscapes. Electric vehicles zoom silently through cities, but they all have one thing in common. They are powered by the sun, wind, and batteries. But then something unexpected happens. A car appears on the market that doesn't need solar, wind, or batteries. It charges itself while driving. You might think this is science fiction, but it's not. This car exists today in Zimbabwe, and it's shaking the world. The question is, how does it charge itself, and why is it being kept secret? Buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you goes beyond cars. It involves superpowers, billion-dollar battles, and a conspiracy that stretches from Zimbabwe to Washington, D.C. Why? Because this car is not just a machine, it's a movement, and big interests don't want you to know how it works. Chapter 2. The Game Changers. Imagine a car that runs without fuel, charges itself while driving, and needs no charging stations. What seems impossible is becoming reality in Africa. It all started with a simple idea. A Zimbabwean engineer named Maxwell asked, "Why can't we create a perpetual motion car powered by ambient energy?" Most people would dismiss such a concept as unscientific, but Maxwell saw potential. He gathered a team of local engineers and delved into research. For years, they toiled in Maxwell's garage, poring over theories and conducting experiments. The breakthrough came when they discovered a way to harness energy from the sun, wind, road friction, and gravitational potential energy. They designed a sophisticated system of coils, capacitors, and mechanical components that captured and stored kinetic energy. The result? A prototype of a car that ran indefinitely on city streets. When news of the self-charging car spread, many assumed it was a hoax, but Maxwell posted online videos showing the car in action. The reactions were explosive. Western media outlets poured scorn on the invention, labeling it perpetual motion and dismissing it as unscientific. However, interest from China, Russia, and the Arab world grew exponentially. Soon, Maxwell found himself fielding calls not just from reporters, but from heads of state and tech moguls. Maxwell realized he was not just an engineer, he was leading a revolution, but he wanted to do it on his own terms. Chapter 3. The Billion-Dollar Chessboard. As Maxwell navigated the global spotlight, African countries found themselves at the center of a geopolitical chess match. The stakes: control over the future of energy. Russia was the first to make a move. Seeing an opportunity to counterbalance Western dominance in electric vehicles, Russia pledged billions in investment and technology transfer. Maxwell was cautious, wary of past agreements that favored foreign interests. But Russia persisted, offering incentives and showcasing advanced aerospace technology. Their pitch was simple: share your technology and we'll build it in Africa with you. Next, China entered the fray. Beijing dangled the promise of a complete supply chain, factories, training, and export markets. Their proposal: invest in Africa's infrastructure in exchange for a share in the self-charging car technology. The chessboard was set and the pieces were moving, but Africa needed a strategy. Traditional allies in the West dismissed the invention as a curiosity rather than a game changer. Left to their own devices, African leaders had to forge a new path. This meant charting a course through complex geopolitics, balancing superpower interests, and making decisions that prioritized Africa's long-term goals. But the question remained: how could Africa hold its ground in this high-stakes game? The answer lay in unity, leverage, and a clear vision for the future. Chapter 4. Africa's Grand Alliance. Realizing the magnitude of their collective power, African nations came together like never before. The African Union emerged as the driving force, uniting countries across regions. This alliance provided leverage against individual offers from superpowers. No longer were African countries seen as isolated targets, but as a unified front. The AU established a governing body, the African Technology and Energy Commission, to oversee negotiations on behalf of the continent. This centralized approach ensured that each country's interests were considered and that no external power could sway them individually. To solidify their position, the AU leveraged the potential economic impact of the self-charging car. By controlling this revolutionary technology, Africa positioned itself to lead the electric vehicle market, create millions of jobs, and drive sustainable development. The threat of losing such influence proved persuasive to world powers. Once divided by colonial borders and competing interests, Africa had become a united front. The message was clear. African nations would no longer be pawns in a global game. They were players with a valuable asset and the determination to shape their future. But the Grand Alliance did not end there. Chapter 5: Beyond the Game. As Africa solidified its position on the global stage, it attracted new partners and possibilities. Countries like India, Indonesia, and Brazil, often overlooked by Western powers, saw an opportunity to align with Africa's vision. These emerging economies recognized the potential of supporting Africa's growth, not just for their own strategic interests, but also as a way to counterbalance existing power structures. Forming this broad coalition, Africa further diversified its options, ensuring it wasn't reliant on any single superpower. This global network became a catalyst for unprecedented cooperation. Together, these countries could pool resources, share expertise, and amplify their voices on the world stage. The shift in power dynamics was undeniable. Africa's strategic importance was no longer a secret, and the world began to take notice. Yet even as the African alliance grew in strength and influence, challenges persisted. Chapter 6: The Price of Progress. Despite the grand alliances and promising developments, challenges loomed on the horizon. Legacy energy corporations threatened legal action, fearing disruption to their industries. Environmental groups raised concerns about unforeseen consequences, and some governments questioned the feasibility of the self-charging car. Overcoming these obstacles required not just resilience, but a commitment to transparency and dialogue. Africa's leaders engaged in open discussions, addressing concerns and refining plans. They established independent oversight bodies to monitor development and ensure accountability. This commitment to openness reassured skeptics and built trust among nations. It was a delicate balance, walking the tightrope between progress and scrutiny. But Africa pressed on, driven by the vision of a sustainable energy future. Through it all, one man remained at the heart of the movement: Maxwell Chikumbutso. His invention had ignited a revolution, uniting a continent and reshaping global politics. From his humble beginnings in Zimbabwe to the global stage, Maxwell embodied the spirit of innovation and resilience. His story became an inspiration, proving that one man's idea could change the world. But the journey was far from over. As the self-charging car moved from theory to reality, Africa stood on the brink of a new era. The path ahead demanded unwavering focus, strategic partnerships, and a steadfast commitment to its vision. The coming years would test Africa's resolve, but the stakes were too high to falter. Controlling this revolutionary technology was not just about economic gain or political clout. It was about energy independence, environmental responsibility, and shaping a future powered by innovation and unity. Now, here's a question for you. How can Africa's success inspire positive change in other parts of the world? Share your thoughts below. Your voice matters. And remember, Africa's story is one of resilience, unity, and progress. Let's keep following their journey. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on Africa's rise in technology and innovation. Your support helps us grow and bring you more impactful stories. Stay tuned for the next episode of Africa is Watching. Until then, keep learning and keep growing. See you next time.